Thank you all for joining. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Michael Mackey. I'm the VP of Operations for Powernet, and I also oversee our business development and applications for Powernet solutions. And today, I would like to talk to you about our cloud billing opportunity. We also have Jeff Foster, who's the VP of Enterprise Sales, as well as Penny Thurman on the call. She's over the channel side of the business. So I know there's a couple people on the call from the channel side. So we are definitely interested in offering this solution to the channel as well as directly. So we're going to go over a few different things throughout the agenda. One, we want to talk about billing pain points, how to address them, and then obviously how can Powernet help with that with the 8055 cloud billing, as well as some of the capabilities that 8055 has and some of the different integrations that it has with other software and other carriers and vendors and switches and et cetera. And then finally, just how to learn more and a little sneak peek at 8055. So a brief background on Powernet itself. We have been in business for over 28 years, mainly focusing traditionally on telecom services. We have expanded that in the past maybe 5 or 6 years now. We are headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio, and currently we're operating with a little over 100 employees. From a telecom side, we do focus on business, carrier, residential, and enterprise and SMB solutions. Again, it was mainly focusing on telecom, so this system is very well baked from a telecom perspective, as well as now we are offering like IT managed services and network security, which is now baked in as well. Today's billing pain points. Modern billing platforms allow you to do the basics, but often limit integration and ultimately what you can do with your customer data, wasting time and money. Limited automation reduces back office efficiency, risks customer data becoming outdated. Few integrations restricts your flexibility and limits what you can do with your data across back office applications. And a lot of them don't have like customer portals, so it prevents customers from accessing and managing their data through the customer portal. Our customer portal also allows customers to make payments, whether they're one-time payments or automated, scheduling ACH, as well as credit card. How can you address these issues? Implementing a full service billing platform offers a complete feature set, allows you to improve how you operate your business and open the doors to new growth and opportunities. Effective automation process keeps your data connected and up to date with customizable, streamlined flows. I might jump around here a little bit, but I can elaborate on some of these later in the presentation. Integrations, connections into your vital back office systems enables organizations to maximize the value of your data. This billing platform was designed, literally every different section of this billing application was designed with APIs in mind. The APIs are set up today, so it's very easy to connect to existing software or existing databases from whatever you have, from whatever vendor, or if they are proprietary. Again, the self-service is the customer portal side of it, which is this is really just where your customer can see whatever services you are providing. It does include like a service inventory, so the customer can see all the services that you are providing to that customer, as well as all of the invoice histories that they have had with you, and any outstanding invoices that have not been paid. So, and then you have reduced costs. With all one system, you can begin to cut costs and unnecessary processes and back office applications. So this billing solution is really a hosted solution. That's kind of how we are offering it to everyone here. So Powernet really hosts it for you. We do take over a lot of that back office lifting, which allows you to focus your efforts and your resources on gaining revenue instead of like maintaining revenue. And again, we've been doing this for many years, so we're very well versed in how that back office works, and it's ultimately designed to save you time and money. So how can Powernet help? So our proprietary We call it 8055. Again, so PowerNet has actually designed our own billing application probably 15 years ago now, probably in the early 2000s. And this was all Java based, and it was all designed around PowerNet's pain points, just from using previous billing providers, the headaches, and then all the customizations that we had to do, even though we were using a third-party software. There were so many things that they did not support. So we still had to hire our own development team to give us all the customization that we needed for our customers. And then throughout the years, we just started to design our own billing system instead of relying on third party and still doing all of our custom development. So we've addressed at least what I would think is a lot of common pain points throughout the industries from a billing perspective. And then recently, maybe 4 years ago, we decided, previously it was a Java-based desktop application. And about three to 4 years ago, we switched it to a web-based application. And we started understanding that some of our clients actually needed a billing solution to bill their customers. So we decided to make this an actual product offering that we took to market. So now this is available as one of PowerNet's solutions. So again, this is a web-based application now, and I'll get into some of the previews of that. I got a few screenshots in this presentation, but it is designed to be very user-friendly. It is mobile, it is accessible basically on the public internet. As long as you have one of our secure logins that we would give you, it's accessible literally anywhere. There's no VPNs you have to get into. There's no firewalls you have to deal with, and it's accessible. You can, if you in a crunch, you can use it on your phone if you want to. It obviously works on laptops and tablets, so it's very accessible, very user friendly. The customer portal has just recently been updated last year. It's cloud-based. It is using an Oracle database today. We are blending some of that with Postgres databases, depending on the application that 8055 is using. It's PCI compliant from a credit card perspective. So everything the customer has on the customer portal in regards to credit cards, it's actually not stored in PowerNet's database. It's all encrypted, and the transactions go through a third party called Trust Commerce. That's how we handle our credit card processes. So that keeps all of our databases clean and protected. And then there's many different automations that we have designed, and I can get into that in some of these next slides. Advanced billing tools. 8055 has everything you can expect from today's best billing systems and more. From a billing perspective, we do have multiple invoice delivery methods. From a telecom perspective, traditionally, most are running on a monthly schedule, whatever that may be. Let's just say it's like the first of the month. So we certainly have those scheduled capabilities, and we run cycles almost every day of the month. So we can certainly fit those in. And if we don't have an existing cycle for your base, we can obviously create a new cycle to meet your needs. And then we also have on-demand invoices. So this is outside of the monthly recurring, and then you can literally create an on-demand invoice at any time. And those are typically for non-recurring charges. So if a customer maybe has maybe an installation or an equipment order or something like that, where you don't want to wait for their normal monthly cycle to happen, you can bill it on demand. Or maybe they don't even have monthly invoices and you just need to do one-time invoices. That's what that on-demand invoicing feature is for. The scheduling, again, I kind of touched on that already with the different cycles throughout the month or the on-demand. The tax application, we have our own taxing engine for this application, but all the configurations and details we pull from a third party called Avalara. So that handles all the different tax values, going all the way from federal all the way down to like your local municipality. So you got those, and you got city, county, state, etc. And then we would help during any kind of onboarding process to make sure all your products are configured correctly so that they are taxed appropriately when it does come time for billing, whether they do get taxed or whether they don't. And then based on the different solution, if it's just like a labor or if it's like a telecom product or whatnot, those all get taxed differently. And we certainly help. We're very heavily involved in that during the migration from your existing solution to 8055. Some of the other things related to billing is we do have a commissions application as well that is available through this solution. So if you do have existing commissions or if you would like to start paying commissions, that's all configurable within our application. And basically anything that generates revenue, we would be able to calculate commissions on for you if that was your so desire. Functionality. So 8055 is a 100% white label solution. So nothing to your customer would ever show anything PowerNet. So everything would just be branded, your brand, invoices, customer portals, even the payments, like when your customer goes and makes a credit card transaction, it's going to say, we can set it up to where it says like your company telecom or your company managed, whatever it is, whatever your company is, we can make sure those payments show up properly on your customer's credit card statement. So there's no confusion from that perspective. We do have customers and partner portals. I kind of touched base a little bit on the customer portal already. That's where the customer can see their invoices as well as any services that they have with you. The partner portal is more for like if you have a direct sales team or a channel team, that partner portal allows those sales members to go and see their specific activity, as well as that's also where they can see their commissions. If there is anything set up to be commissioned, they can see any of that activity by month and then see what they would be getting paid out. We also have order entry. There's some order entry available on the partner portal, depending on some of those products. And we also have order entry through a different order entry application, actually, that is available through 8055, as well as if you do have any large orders, or let's say you have a large customer that has many, many services or many products, it's much easier and usually faster if you do that through a file load. We certainly have that capability as well. Collections, there's a lot of things with collections that's configurable based on your business needs. Some things are automated in the application or can be automated as far as reminding your customers to pay, like if they haven't paid, as well as you can remind them like, hey, you need to pay, or your service may get interrupted. And then finally, if it's configured, you can also like automatically disconnect the account just so you don't keep continuing to generate revenue that you're never going to get if that customer is not going to pay. Financial reporting, there's a lot of default kind of canned reports that we already have that we can share templates with. And then if those are not satisfactory, we can certainly customize any kind of financial reports that you may need or that you're used to getting. We can certainly replicate that based on the data. And again, like I said, the multiple sales channels. So I kind of already touched base on that a little bit with the commissions, but we do offer, we are focusing both on, or we have experience with the channel side of the business as well as like direct sales. And again, that's all commissionable and all trackable throughout that partner portal application. So again, this is built for telco, built by a telco for a telco, 8055. And again, I've kind of touched base on this a little bit again with the background and as far as PowerNet goes. And again, we were traditionally a telco company, but again, we are expanding, and Jeff and Penny can chime in, or they can chime in later, but we are focusing now more on managed services and IT services, as well as multi-dwelling unit opportunities. But so we are expanding. So it's not just telco anymore, but from a telco perspective, we have built a fraud application, which basically monitors all of our traffic real time, or even your traffic. If we have access to your traffic, or if we can get those CDR feeds essentially real time, or as real time as we can get them, we chew through that traffic immediately in our fraud system. And then we, based on configurations that you may give us, maybe certain international destinations, or maybe if you say like a customer is only supposed to be traditionally billing maybe $1,000 a month, and all of a sudden we see that they're already $1,200 in, and it's only a week into the month, like we can alert on different activity like that, or what we would consider suspicious activity. Provisioning management, there's a lot of automation and integrations with provisioning. We have a lot of direct connections with a lot of carriers, as well as several switches today. And if we don't have those connections, we can certainly get them if it's something that we have not, if we don't have it currently set up. The real-time data usage tracking, that kind of leads back into that fraud typically, or those credit limit tracking, and then automated CDR. Again, you can certainly, if you do have CDR that needs to be rated, you can either give us those daily or weekly or whatever it is that you would need to give them to us. Powernet obviously, or we personally prefer to have the CDR as soon as possible. So with us daily or even hourly or less, we prefer that. Or we can also take, or you can give us credentials to access the CDR from your source, and we can set up automation and pull that as well. Product catalogs. So these are all the different products and services that you sell. We would mimic that you're using today, as well as we can obviously help create any new ones on demand as they come up, as your business needs them in the future. So proven technology from a billing solution. To date, from a CDR perspective, we have processed over almost 14 billion calls since the beginning of this application. And then to just kind of touch base or reiterate on the fraud application, and, and then how we are constantly looking at traffic or suspicious behaviors between our customers and PowerNet's activity. We have generated 1.25 million alerts, and those alerts can be anything. Really, the fraud system is designed to ultimately protect your customer, right? So nobody wants to get slammed with absorbent fraud charges. So we try to proactively monitor the traffic for you and your customer just to prevent that. I mean, unfortunately, it is a common trend in the telecom industry that, I mean, there's just fraud. I mean, it's always there. They're always getting better. They're always getting more advanced. So we have designed that part of the application ultimately to protect the customer. And again, we can alert on particular destinations, excessive calling, as well as credit limits. You know, like if you can just say like maybe your residential accounts only should have a typical credit or usage of maybe $30 a month, and like all of a sudden they're at 60. We can alert you on that, or we can alert the customer. And then depending on the thresholds, if you set them in a configuration standpoint, we can automate some activity as well. We can shut those services off to essentially stop the bleeding if you so desired. So it's a great feature. It's really nice, and it really does save a lot of money.
Mike, this is Jeff. I can jump in for a second.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
You had mentioned how we've expanded the capability of 8055, and a couple examples of that is, you know, this is obviously made for carrier grade billing switching, but also for, you know, if you're an AT&T provider, which you touched on or will touch on, but the expansion that it inherently was ready for is also hosting. So if you don't have to own the hosted providing switch, if you have example, contact center hosted product. This is a billing system for that. There's so many different applications that we can be the billing system for that. Not that many billing systems are out there ready for you to do that. And some of these providers or these manufacturers of software that provide the product for hosting don't always give you good options for billing. So come to us, because we've got a very flexible, you know, product here that can help you out, and it's done that for us.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to add on. That's a good point, Jeff. And you did mention, Mike, this is Penny. I'm not sure with AT&T and the other switches, but I know some of you that are on are part of the partner exchange with AT&T, and we are a certified billing partner with AT&T, and you will get approved. From this, it is approval for development funds. So they pay up to like $5,000 a year or at maximum of the 50% of that. So we are in the ecosystem for the partner exchange. We've got some other partner exchange customers on there, as well as Metaswitch. So to Jeff and Mike's point, we can handle it anywhere from a Genesis billing, Metaswitch, AT&T, as well as those other MSPs out there that might just have, other reoccurring or non-reoccurring services. So it really takes it soup to nuts from the full scope of any kind of technology is what this billing system can do and help the clients, help your clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff and Penny. Integrations. So again, I've touched base a little bit on fraud a couple times now. We do have integrations again with many of the major carriers throughout the telecom industry. And those integrations again are for provisioning as well as pulling CDR. Some switches as Metaswitch. There's a few more. Metaswitch is a big one though. We do have several customers on 8055 that are Metaswitch users. We are very integrated with that switch. We have automated provisioning from adding services to the switch as well as removing services from the switch. Now we can also switch the service into different directories based on different alerts or different activities. So related to that fraud, let's just say your customer set up with full access for calling. They can call domestic and international. But let's say we detect an alert for international traffic, we can switch that directory in your switch to like a domestic only directory. So that doesn't shut down your customer's services completely. It just shuts down their their international part of the calling. Just kind of, it stops the bleeding, but keeps them in business. And it still allows the customer to research the issue and or you to research that issue. Other systems, ConnectWise. So a lot of managed services companies are using ConnectWise. We're very familiar with ConnectWise these days. Over the past maybe 5 years now, we've been working with ConnectWise and integrating that within 8055 from a billing perspective. We also have other ticketing systems that we are connected to as well. Footprints is another example. You can see some of these other switches or these little logos down at the bottom of the screen as well. These are some other things that we are connected to. So we have Genesis, ConnectWise, CenturyLink, Verizon, AT&T, Salesforce, again, Footprints. And there's more. These are just some of the key ones here. Some of the standard integrations with the 8055 solution is banking. So again, and some of the research that I have done from different competitors and depending on the industry, sometimes those competitors hold on to the revenue as it comes through the system. Like when your customer's paying the invoice, it kind of goes into their bank account and then they might wire you the money weekly, or I've even seen some wire it like monthly, which is crazy. But with the 8055 solution, we tie everything directly into your bank accounts, whether it's ACH or credit card. Powernet never sees that money. We don't want it. We're not interested in it. And then we just send you an invoice monthly for the services rendered according to the contract terms. So we never touch your money. And then we just, again, send you an invoice for services provided monthly. So this is just kind of discussing the onboarding process a little bit. Powernet is very much involved in migrating your existing data from your current solution into ours. We have a full team of analysts as well as developers. So if there's some different pieces or different connections that we don't have currently that you need, our developers will work on integrating those different tools, and our billing analysts really do a deep dive into your your customer base and make sure that, that transition goes smoothly for you and your customer. So it's as seamless as possible. We are also capable of pretty much duplicating the invoice that your customer gets today, if that's what you want to keep, unless you do want a new format. But we've just noticed over time that makes it certainly easier from the customer side. You really don't want to like rock that customer mode at all, or as least as possible. So replicating those invoices that you're sending out today does help with that process. So yeah, and then we like to do most of the heavy lifting, but we obviously will need somebody with technical billing experience from your side, at least to get the migration set up and moved. And then once that's set up and moved, it really does typically turn into like a hosted solution. We really are maintaining your customer base for you. We're doing all the bill prep. We're making sure everything's scheduled. We're making sure all the financial reports go to you. Really, at that point, once the migration is complete, it's really just on you to add new data, right? Or update the existing data. Maybe a customer cancels, or maybe you need to change the amount that's on a recurring charge. And that's all accessible through the 8055 application, which I have some screenshots for you. And then too, like if anyone on this call is interested, we are certainly happy to do an actual demo of the application itself and of some of the other different solutions. We can go through some of the pain points that you're experiencing today, and we can address how 8055 can help alleviate those pains. So this is actually a screenshot of the account summary from the 8055 application. And as you can see here, I don't know how well you can see the screen, but these are all the different sections within the 8055 application that you would have access to. This icon here gives you the different modules, whether those are your sales modules or programs and products or commissions and things like that. But this is your customer management section. This is what you're looking at. This is what most likely your billing rep or your customer service would be looking at, and this is how they would be working your customer base. And this is where they can go and add new services or edit existing services or products. So this is just a summary at this point. And then you have many additional customer contact information here. We have invoices, services, all the products that are on the account, all the orders and order history. Letters are another thing that's configurable through the 8055 application, and based on your needs or desires, we can send out welcome letters, we can send out service addition letters, credit card decline letters, or your credit card's about to expire letter. And when I say letter, these are typically nowadays, these are mostly email communications. We do have the capability of printing them and mailing them if you did need that. And that goes as well for actual invoices themselves. We do have the ability and capability of printing and mailing them. We have our own print shop in-house to take care of that, and we would manage all your branded materials and keep those separate and make sure those go out as soon as your bill cycle is complete. And then we also have like an e-bill version of that same invoice. Okay, these are just different pages of the 8055 application. This just goes into more details. This general information, you can see the different orders. You can kind of see the salesperson that was involved in that order on this section. And this whole thing here would be something that if you did want more information, we can set up a demo and really get into the application itself and address those pain points. So that demo, we can get through it in about an hour on a high level relatively. So if you did have interest, that first call would probably be about an hour. And then we can also give you some demo login so you can kind of take a look at some test accounts that we have set up just so you can poke around and take a peek. This is the invoice section. This just keeps all the invoices and the invoice history. It tells you what kind of invoice it is, whether it's a on-demand invoice or a monthly. And then nowadays we have them too, where we mark them as if they've been paid or not paid. And you would be able to see that in here. We kind of highlight them in different colors. If they it turns red if they haven't paid it, if it's like in that 90-day bucket and it's yellow, this bar would be yellow. If it's unpaid and it's in that 60 to 90 range, and then it's green if it's in that 0 to 30 range. It helps visually to easily see that the status of that account when you first open it. Payment histories. These are just different products. We allow products at the account level as well at the service level. And as you can see here under these actions, these are just how you can add them or disconnect them or change the details on them. And we also do have parent-child capabilities from an account perspective. Some people do ask about that. That is, okay. This is a customer portal. This one is branded for Powernet. I mean, it does have the logo of Powernet and it has our colors in it. That's all configurable based on your business. I mean, your logo would go there. We can change the colors of this side menu bar, and this take a tour of the new customer portal. That's really your real estate to do whatever you want on that customer portal. So you can be putting promotions there or advertisements or any kind of communication that you want your customer to see. That's there for you on that home page of the customer portal. Service inventory. So this is another thing that I discussed. This allows the customer to have a full view of everything that they have with you in regards to services or products. It lists all the services, and there's these little, I think they're called carrots, little carrot guy here. You can expand those and it gives you further detail just based on what is in the database today. We can certainly add more details to that. If there's something in there that's not there today, that's very easy to add as long as you're providing that data or if it's in the database so we can pull it. These are just this is the payment section. And again, I kind of touched base. You are able to pay with a credit card on the customer portal. You can also pay by ACH. And both of those are configurable to be set up for recurring payments or like auto pay. So they can kind of set it and forget it. And it'll always just take that new balance according to the terms of that invoice. And then there's other things on the credit cards. Credit cards do have a cost associated to processing that charge. It is configurable within the application to allow, I don't know, you can call it whatever you want, but for this conversation, let's just call it a credit card processing fee or a payment processing fee on those credit cards, right? Because depending on the credit cards, you might have 2% charge, 3% charge, 1.5%, whatever that may be. If you did desire for your customers to cover that cost for the convenience of paying by credit card, we can calculate that real time and include that in the transaction amount on that credit card payment. Or they can pay it with ACH and nobody has any cost involved. That's free typically from the customer portal.